If you're interested in what it's like to be a real estate investor on a day in and day out basis, and you want to know the actual struggles and raw what's going on, then you're going to want to watch this video and the following videos. Hey, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Hardy Investor. I own 68 doors in real estate investing worth over $5 million and that generate over $15,000 a month in net free cash flow. I say all this because I want you guys to learn from what I've learned so far in my journey, but also I'm excited to take you guys along this journey going forward for 2023. We have big goals this year. We want to get 100 units this year, meaning we'd be, like at 168 by the end of the year, roughly. I mean, assuming we don't sell any. That's almost tripling our portfolio, and that's huge for us to be able to do something like that. So I'm telling you that goal because I want you to hold me accountable, and I want to achieve that, but also I want you guys to see what it's going to take to get there. And hopefully, even if you're not at 68 right now, if you're at 0, or if you're at a couple, wherever you're at in your journey, you can learn from what I'm learning as I'm learning it, and you can implement these same strategies to have success as a real estate investor yourself. That's my goal, is for you guys to learn from my journey, not just mistakes I've made in the past, but mistakes that I'm probably going to make this year and things that I learn, and also things that work really well. So let's do this together. So today is January 3rd, 2023. So happy New Year, everybody. Also, it is my 32nd birthday today. So I am 32 years old, so I decided it's time to get serious. Everybody, I think, you kind of go through these different birthdays and you're like, all right, now that I'm, I feel like it started at 25 for me, where I'm like, okay, now I need to start like being an adult. So you kind of feel like that a little bit every year. You're like, all right, I guess I have to mature a little bit more this year. I have to be 1 year older in maturity. For real estate investing, like I said, our goal is to get 100 units this year, and we're going to get a lot of that, whereas in the past we've gotten a lot of stuff that's been on the market, and we're going to continue to look at the market for good deals. There's no doubt about that. You should look at listings every day. It's my favorite thing to do in the morning, besides work out. But we're going to implement a strategy this year that's going to be direct to seller, and I'm really excited about this because when you're waiting for stuff to come on the market, you're kind of just, it can be a waiting game, right? You're waiting for things to hit the market. Maybe there's nothing that's, hitting that's working for what you're looking to buy. And you're just sitting there and waiting. And you're also competing with other buyers when something does hit the market. And so by going direct to seller and marketing to sellers that need to sell their homes, what we're going to be able to do is just say, all right, we're ready to buy deals. Let's ramp this up. Let's go buy some. All right, we bought a couple. Let's go do the deal. So we'll kind of turn it down. So we're going to be able to control more of the deal flow within our business. And we're also going to, I think, get a lot better deals because they're not on the retail market. We're not competing with other buyers, but also we're able to help people before they get to that point. So maybe someone's interested in selling their home. They know if they list it with a realtor, they're going to pay 6% in commission plus some closing costs. We can come in and help them save all that. We can also say, look, we're going to do the work in the rehab, and you don't have to do anything to get your house ready to sell. So literally, we can just close on the deal as it stands today. So we can really help people who really need to sell in a tight spot. Maybe someone isn't in such a tight spot, but the amount that they need to get for their home, because whatever, maybe they have a loan for that amount, maybe they're kind of a little bit underwater right now, because they also know that if they sell on the market, they're going to have to pay 6 to 10% in commissions and closing costs. Maybe that amount isn't enough for them to be able to sell their home, and now they're stuck with, maybe they got 2 homes, maybe they bought another one, never sold their first one. We're also going to be able to help people in those situations. So anything in business, whether you're an investor, or you have your own business, you're going to actually sell product and make investments and make money by solving solutions. Solving solutions, is that a thing? Can you solve a solution? Solving problems. By solving problems for people and finding solutions. If you're a professional problem solver, a professional solution finder, you guys will never want for money in your life. Like, you'll be able to get all the money that you'd ever need if you can just solve enough problems and big enough problems for other people. So that's all we're trying to do, is solve problems for sellers that need to get out of their homes, and then for tenants who need a place to rent, or maybe in the future we'll do some flips and rent to own. So then we're solving problems for people that want to own their own homes too. So I'm really excited to implement those strategies this year. There's a couple things I got that I'll share with you guys along the way, and how we're going to market direct to sellers. We also have a 4 unit under contract right now. So we got it under contract for $123K. We're going to put about 35 into rehab, so we're going to be all in for about 160. After repair value on this is going to be around 200. So we're going to have 40,000 in instant equity from just buying it and fixing it up and getting it fully rented. We're also going to have a cash flowing property, because even at that level, when we refinance and get that loan back, once we refinance it, we're still going to be cash flowing $1,000 a month. So it's going to be probably about a 30% cash on cash return. And it's going to be even better if we can get some of that money that we put in up front back on a refinance, or maybe all of it. So it's going to be a great deal. We're supposed to close on that. Actually, we were supposed to close on it today. The lender, that's a good learning lesson for you guys, actually. So lenders can be tricky, right? You never want to assume that a lender can actually close in the amount of time that they say they can close. Usually when you're starting to talk to a loan officer, they're not the ones that are actually underwriting the deal and getting the deal done. They're just the sales rep, right? So if you've ever worked in a company that has like a sales team and then like a production or operations team, and I work in a company, and I love my production team, by the way, if any of you guys are watching this, but there's always kind of friction there, right? Like the sales team wants to sell on like, oh yeah, we can get this done like tomorrow and we can close and it's going to be super easy. But then there's the reality of what it takes to actually get it done. So it's kind of the same with lending. Don't let a loan officer paint the sky as all roses and butterflies when it comes to getting funding. So the moral of the story of that is always have a backup lender. So I would say go down the path as far as you can with multiple lenders until you get to the point where like you need to pick one. And even still, I would let the backup lenders know, like, hey, you're my backup lender. If I need you, I'm going to come right to you. So we got this deal under contract. We had 30 days to close, and the seller was pretty strict on you need to close in 30 days. We decided to do hard money lending on this. Hard money lending, is usually they'll lend a good percentage of the deal. Usually they'll fund the rehab. Usually it's a 1-year loan, and it's short term, and you're paying higher interest. So we're paying, I think, 10% interest on this. So you've got all these terms because the idea is you're buying it, fixing it up, and refinancing it within a year. So that's what we're planning to do. Now, all the hard money lenders we talked to are like, oh yes, close in 7 days. And if you guys go and talk to hard money lenders, that's probably what a lot of them will say, but that's not reality. So we actually went down the path with 2 lenders that backed out on us. And that's what's really frustrating is one of them backed out because we backed out on them. But not the loan officer, but the person who is between the loan officer and underwriting was brand new. This was literally his first deal, and he was not communicating anything and kept coming back to us with more stuff that they needed after they told us that we gave them everything they asked for. We said, we can't keep playing these games. Like, this is going to delay closing. So we went to another one, and then they just said, we're not interested after tying it up for a week. I guess it just didn't fit their portfolio. And then we went to a third one who's doing really good. Honestly, I really like working with them. If it goes well, I'll go ahead and give them a shout out in a future video. And even let you know the guy I'm working with, so that if you guys need him, I would give him a call. But let me close on this deal first, make sure everything follows through. So far, they've been great. They've been fantastic. So they did say that they just need a couple extra days, because I went to them, I think it was 2 days before Christmas break, and said, I need this deal done by January 3rd. Then we had, Christmas and New Year's, and of course they were closed 2 days on either side. So they had 4 business days that they were closed. I think they've only been open for like 3 days since I took them the loan. So that's where we're at right now. We did get an extension. We had to give more money to the seller as a non-refundable deposit. So we are putting some money on the line here, but that's kind of what you do. You take some risks like that. We do have a backup, which is that we could buy it with cash if we had to. That's worst case scenario. This seller was very adamant. Normally you don't want to do like a non-refundable earnest money. Normally you want it like contingent upon financing, especially if you're buying something that's on the market, and especially if you don't have your financing lined up yet. Now, once you get a good relationship established with a hard money lender and you know that they're going to be able to fund your deals, then you could be a lot more aggressive in saying, like, I know we're going to get this done. It's probably going to be less than 30 days. But it's always good to give yourself some wiggle room for contingencies, because things like this can happen where you have lenders promising you they can get it done, and then there's about 101,000 ways why a lender decides not to do a deal. And unfortunately, that ends up screwing over people that were promised that they would get the deal done, even though it's a screaming good deal. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm done I'm done on my soapbox and complaining about these lenders. But probably one of the biggest struggles early in your investing career until you get to the point where you're doing private money and lending and you got good relationships. We do have relationships with some lenders that have done really well for us in the past. It's just that now we're trying to shift into more of a buy, fix, and then either sell or refinance strategy, whereas before it was just buy and hold long term. So we're just getting the loan done, and then we're just holding on to those loans. So this is a little bit different. So anyway, that's where we're at as of January 3rd, and I'm excited for you guys to join this journey on me, and watch out for the next video.